No, you got to stick with it from then on. Because you can be saved from your old way of life like they were. You can be saved from your sins today when you get baptized, and the Lord will destroy you later because you start back up sinning. 1 Corinthians 10:1. Go ahead.
Moreover, brethren, I would not that ye should be ignorant.
Don't be ignorant. See, the Bible, that might sound derogatory to somebody. If I say, look, I don't want you to be ignorant, people say, oh, he's trying to be funny. He's talking about me. No, I just want you to have some knowledge. I would not that you should be ignorant how the what?
How that all our fathers were under the cloud and all passed through the sea.
See, Paul talking about the Israel forefathers. They was, all of them were under the cloud and went through the sea, and what else?
And were all baptized unto Moses in the cloud and in the sea.
See, that was a baptism, wasn't it? That was a form. See, that lets you know this is indeed an example for us when we come to the Lord and embark on our new life, right? This is an example. Because you do the same thing. You repent from your old way of life. The Lord said, look, I'm going to spare you from that. I'm going to save you from that. I'm even going to give you a new set of friends because your old one still ain't no good.
Praise God.
And you're going to start from scratch. You know, you can hang around. Maybe you can try to help some of your old friends. But for the most part, if they doing what you was doing, you're going to have to make a change. So, but the Lord did that. They got a fresh start when they left Egypt, just like we get. They were all baptized under Moses in the cloud and in the sea. And what else? Verse 3.
And all did eat the same spiritual meat.
Oh, they didn't have one spiritual meat for this brother and another for them where they can do something different, right? You serve God your way and I do it my way. It didn't work like that. They ate the same stuff, didn't they? They got the same instructions, in other words, from the Lord to do the same thing. It was all common, wasn't it? That's right. They ate the same common spiritual meat because they was on the same road to salvation when they went through that Red Sea. Go ahead.
And did all drink the same spiritual drink.
They drank the same spiritual drink, not a different one for each one. Not one for it was some Gentiles and mixed multitude with them. They didn't have something else that the Lord told them to do. That's what spiritual meat and drink mean. The instructions he gave. It was all the same, wasn't it? It was common, wasn't it? Go ahead.
For they drank of that spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock was Christ.
Told you Christ was the one back there. That's who was feeding them. He led them through the Red Sea. At one point, he took the angel and he got behind them and was following them to keep Pharaoh from getting too close because they was on their heels. So that shows you that was Christ back. I told you they had Christ back then. All that we've been reading about is an example of Christ. That's why they can get salvation just like we can get salvation, even though Christ hadn't came in the flesh, had he?
That's right.
But they still had Christ. They still had the lamb, didn't they? On the Passover, the same day we doing it, right? We all got the same thing. That's why Jesus didn't come and change nothing like people make you think. He didn't change nothing. Jesus come 1,000 years after Moses and picked the exact day that Moses told Israel to put the blood over their lambs, and he shed his blood on that exact day. That shows he ain't changing nothing, is it?
That's right.
The exact day, not the day before or the day after. He told you it got to be on the Passover. I got to die on this day. They wanted to kill him a long time ago. He was ducking and dodging, stopping them from killing him. So he could have been dead, right? But he may, even at one point, probably the feast before the Passover, the tabernacles, he didn't even go to Jerusalem openly because they were trying to kill him so tough. He snuck up there. So they really wanted to kill him, right? But he waited till when? The Passover. That's how God pinpoint things. So that was Christ. It said they drank of that rock that followed them, and that rock was Christ. Most people don't know that. People want to Jehovah, Jehovah, Jehovah. Or some people want to argue about Yahweh, 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 the name, which is where they got the name Jehovah from. Either way, you need to know who that really is. That wasn't the Father. Most people don't know. They arguing about the name and who it is. That was Christ. He was Jehovah back then. That's why he told the Jews in John 8, I am. Before Abraham was, I am. They didn't get it. They got it. They understood, but they didn't believe. They understood because they picked up some bricks and tried to kill him then. Because they knew what he meant when he said before Abraham was, I. They just looked at it as blasphemy. See? But Paul telling you here, read verse 4 again.
And did all drink the same spiritual drink. For they drank of that spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock was Christ.
See, he's talking about Israel going through the Red Sea. That rock that was with them was Christ. But now what happened though? Verse 5.
But with many of them God was not well pleased, for they were overthrown in the wilderness.
See, they got saved through the Red Sea and out of Egypt, but they still got overthrown in the wilderness because God wasn't pleased with them. Now, this is not something that was just for back then and we don't have to worry about it, is it? No, this is something for us to take heed to, and Paul going to tell you. See, people want to throw away the Old Testament and say, we got a different way now, but the Bible is telling you, nah, it's just another example. You got to use that as instruction. God was not pleased and overthrew him. Verse 6.
Now, these things were our example.
Oh, don't do away with the Old Testament, right? Learn from it, right? Don't do what they did. That's what he's telling us, right? Now, these things were our examples. Go ahead.
To the intent we should not lust after evil things, as they also lusted.
Oh, we get some instruction from that. So we in the same shape. We got to make sure we don't fall victim, don't we? And we can. So much for you just believe on Christ and you ain't got to worry about nothing like they did in the old days, right? Go ahead, verse 7.
Neither be ye idolaters.
Oh, in the new days, I'm not supposed to be an idolater, right? See, we get into what your newness is based on. They had a fresh opportunity. The old people in the wilderness blew it, and the Lord killed them all in the wilderness. They got overthrown in the wilderness. Only the young people made it into the promised land. The Lord killed them all there. They got saved from Egypt. That's a shame. They got saved from Egypt and from Pharaoh through the Red Sea and still died in the desert because they were so hard-headed. That's a shame. It'd be a shame for God to get you out of all the trouble you done been in your life. He gets you out of that trouble, and then you still like crazy. He end up killing you anyway. That's what he said. Verse 6, now these things were our examples to the intent we should not lust after evil things as they also lusted. People say, well, you know, that was for back then. You know, we can serve God any kind of way. He know my heart. They love that one. Oh, he know my heart. Yeah, he know your heart. He know you can change your wicked heart. And he's telling you to do it. The heart, the Bible said the heart is wicked, desperately wicked, evil, above all things. So you got to change it, right? And that's the mind. So it's not we can serve God any kind of way, because verse 7 said what? Read it again.
Neither be ye idolaters.
Oh, so we're not supposed to be idolaters. Do you hear preachers talking about idolatry nowadays? Not at all. Yeah, he's talking about idolatry when he's talking about bringing money, because he done made that a god. But he ain't talking about don't do it. He is letting people do it. Neither be ye idolaters as what?
As were some of them.
In the old days with Israel. Go ahead.
As it is written. The people sat down to eat and drink and rose up to play.
See, that's what you do when you commit an idolatry. You be having big fun because you think it don't matter. That's what Israel did. But now, they didn't follow through on their newness. They didn't keep up with the criteria. So it was criteria for their new life, wasn't it?
That's right.
And that was we saw it was clearly to obey God, keep his commandments. Go ahead, verse 8.
Neither let us commit fornication.
Oh, we can't continue to commit fornication. Many of us have done it. But when you come to the Lord, you got to stop it. Israel had to stop it too, didn't he? But many of them didn't, and they got killed. That's some more that got overthrown in the wilderness. Neither let us commit fornication as what?
As some of them committed, and fell in one day 23,000.
And 23,000 people got killed in one day for fornicating. See, they thought they could keep some of them habits they had in Egypt. And that's really what they wanted to do. They said, man, we was eating good in Egypt. We had them melons. They didn't even know what eating good was. You eating the worst of everything.
That's right.
But, oh yeah, we did. You know, we did certain things. But you couldn't do that no more with the Lord. But they wanted to partake in it. 23,000 people died. Verse 9.
Neither let us tempt Christ, as some of them also tempted, and will destroy the serpent.
See, they tempted him, and he sent snakes among, start killing. The Lord know how to kill you all kind of ways.
That's right.
He got all kind of ways to kill you. That's why you got to just worry about fearing the Lord. You be worried about how not to get killed. Hey, you can't keep up. You can't keep track of that. You just got to worry about the fear of the Lord. Because you say, well, you know, this might happen. If I go this way, something might happen. It don't matter. You can go the other way. Lord still going to get you. He said at this time he sent snakes among them and killed. One time he plagued them. They were just getting sick and dying. So neither let us tempt Christ, as some of them also. Notice they tempted Christ. Well, we can't tempt Christ because they tempted him back in the old days. That's who they was tempting. He was the one led them through the Red Sea, right? That's right. Do the preacher tell you don't tempt Christ? Act like you can't do nothing but love. Oh, you love Christ. Love you. Ain't nothing you can do about it. That's the only thing they want to talk about. Love, love, love. Look, Paul in the New Testament is warning you to get your act together and keep it together, isn't he? That's right. Neither let us tempt Christ, as some of them also tempted and got destroyed. So what else? Verse 10. What else not to do?
Neither murmur ye, as some of them also murmured, and were destroyed of the destroyer.
See, some of them murmured and they got destroyed. Verse 11.
Now all these things happen unto them for example.
Oh, that's examples for us. See, so when we become a new creature, we don't want to keep them old habits, do we? We know the criteria is God's law. Don't fornicate. Don't steal. Don't commit idolatry, adultery. Keep the Sabbath day. It's God's law. That's the criteria for your newness. Go ahead.
And they are written for our admonition, upon whom the ends of the world are come.
So that's examples, he said, and it's admonition for us. What happened to them? That's why we read it. Go ahead, verse 12.
Wherefore, let him that thinketh he standeth take heed lest he fall.
Oh, because you can fall, right? Don't nobody tell you that. A lot of churches say you saved and that's it. So that's just putting people at ease. Oh, you saved. You know, when I went to a Baptist church for a while, they was telling me I was saved, and I really tried to figure it out. I was banging my head against one. How do I know I'm saved? And saved from what? It wasn't making no sense to me. Because I wasn't just going to take anything somebody told me. But they were trying to tell, oh, yeah, you saved. Now, I said, oh, yeah? All right, I'm going to wait on it. Because I wasn't feeling it. But I stuck it out and kept tried to go through the motions. None of it didn't add up. But now I understand, because he said you can be with the Lord today and the Lord will destroy you tomorrow. That's what he said. Verse 12 said, wherefore let him that thinketh he stand. That's what you hear today. You think you standing with the Lord? He said, guess what? Take heed lest you fall. You can fall. Now let's go to Ephesians 4. Ephesians 4. So we see that was an example. Israel had a fresh start at the beginning of the year. The Lord gave them the Passover, started them off on the Feast of Unleavened Bread, delivered them from Pharaoh. That was a brand new start for them. But then they messed up, didn't they, and got in trouble. We don't want to do the same thing. That's an example for us. So we're going to get back to us individually being a new creature. And we're going to see exactly that it's based on the same criteria as Israel. Ephesians 4 and verse 5. Ephesians 4 and 5. Again, we're going to see it's one first. Go ahead.
One Lord, one faith, one baptism.
See, first of all, it's one Lord. So it's not multiple ways to please him, multiple ways to serve him. You serve God your way, I serve him my way. No, it's one, right? It's only one. See, but people got it good with thinking it's multiples, don't they? You hear people all the time when you tell them something about the Lord, about the word, they say, well, what faith is that? And you should just tell them, well, really it's only one faith. And it's the faith that was introduced in the Bible, not in the New Testament, in the Old Testament. We read in Jude, he said the faith that was once delivered to the saints. That was the faith. This is what you got to do to serve God, period. End of story. That's what you got to believe and do, brothers and sisters, because faith without works is dead. So now it's one Lord, one faith, one baptism. It's only one. And it's one, and the Lord give you all the information so you can walk in that oneness and not do what? Verse 14. We just saving time. Go ahead.
That we henceforth be no more children, tossed to and fro and carried about with every wind of doctrine.
See, you operate in the oneness. You're not tossed to and fro no more with every wind of doctrine. That's the way we've been, right? He said that we henceforth be no more children tossed to and fro with every wind of doctrine. See, that's the way it is in the world. Every wind of doctrine is in the world. That's why some people don't know what to believe. Say they believe this, they believe this, they believe this, but it's only one belief, isn't it?
That's right.
That's what we got to all get to. And the ones that don't get to it and believe it, he gonna deal with them, and it's only going to be one faith when it's all over with.